How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Rowlet, and welcome back to Poke Forward. Today we're going to be taking a look at some Pokemon rumors, leaks, theories, everything in between. Let's get right into it. Starting things off with this post right here, which comes to us from none else than Soul Silver Art, a leak analyst, as I like to call him, within the community, who says something interesting. He says, has anyone else noticed that Ogerpon looks different in this art? It's much bigger. The face behind its mask is orange color, but it isn't orange in its other artwork. Curiously, there's these black leaves or feathers flying around all the characters, but look to be coming from Ogerpon. Its leaf-like arms are spread much wider than its normal art too, to the point that it looks more like a cape trying to cover everyone, and finally has what looks like a glowing vines coming out from behind it. I think these last two things point to it 100% being a grass type. However, the glow around them makes me think some kind of supernatural or mystical grass. The black leaves might have to do with the plot / what Ogerpon brings when it comes around. The air of death or wind of doom. Could we be looking at Ogerpon's mask form on full display? Which is interesting because yes, it is a straight up mask, obviously, which is also shining with Terrasol energy in it. And yeah, there is like these vines that are kind of spreading out from its like, you know, from like on the edges of this map. You guys can see it right here. My finger is pointing right now. It literally connects to it. Is one of these green, like kind of vines or whatever you want to call them. That are just kind of sticking out. And it connects perfectly up to Ogerpon up there, which is really interesting. So, intriguing. And also, Giros here says Herba Mystica. Could it be possible that this Pokemon literally is what brings Herba Mystica, what causes Herba Mystica to exist? Could it be the case? I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, we'll have to see how that turns out. Next thing, though, is this right here. Some of the Teal Mask DLC is based on the Tale of Taro, and some of the Indigo Disc DLC is based of Urashima Taro. Both DLCs are connected as the hidden treasure of Area Zero. Naturally, treasure plays a part in both these Japanese tales, too. Terrapagos might be the treasure, or it at least directly relates to the treasure of Area Zero. In the tale of Urashima Taro, Urashima is given a type of jeweled treasure box that is also very connected to time. I think that Terrapagos could be a metaphor for that box. It's either a literal treasure box, or again, it's just very connected to the treasure of Area Zero. I wanted to single out this point at first, but and it will mean more in the future, follow-up tweets. He also adds here, as for the Teal Mask and the tale of Momotaro, a big part of the tale is about the treasure and prisoners that the Oni stole and brought back to Oni Island. Momotaro's mission is to stop the Oni and reclaim the stolen treasure and people. I think it's obvious how this could mirror or even flip some of the ideas behind the Teal Mask and Ogerpon. Yeah, in this case, it would be like the Ogerpon is the one stealing people's shit, you know, stealing people away. To take them to the Oni Island, which is, I guess, Demon Island in this case. And basically, we as the character would be hunting after it with the help of these three starter-looking Pokemon. Like, they're not really starter Pokemon, but you get the point. Kind of along those lines. Just kind of hunting after them. But yeah, again, interesting. Speaking of the 4 Blueberry Academy students, is the next section, by the way. You guys want to look further into this, you can do that. But let's look into the next thing. Speaking of the 4 Blueberry Academy students, does that mean that they aren't the same people as these 4 mysterious figures we see in the Indigo Disc trailer? Because yes, we do see 4 people right here at the beginning of that trailer. However, here we have 4 other people, which we don't know if these are the same people, he says. And this also connects, by the way, to a previous post he had here, where he specifically said, I wonder what what types these 4 students probably specialize in. And yes, they seem to be students, as they're all wearing pieces of Blueberry Academy uniforms. White-haired kid looks the most rebellious, and he has a Mischief on his jacket, so dark type. Or maybe, fighting behind him, we can see the Fire, Fairy, and Fighting type logos. Or maybe Poison due to his look, and having a lot of purple in his design. I'm still leaning dark type though. The girl next to him is clearly a steel type user, and she has screws on her head, and the cook underneath them looks fiery. But in past, cooks have mostly been fairy types, so fire or fairy, but I'm leaning towards fire. Lastly, the girl besides the cook also has a very fairy look too. But she does have a similar butterflies in her coats that Tulip, the psychic gym leader, had. So psychic or fairy, but I'm leaning fairy yet again because of the types we see behind him. Again, anything is possible, but back to the original post, which is right here. Are they the same people we see in the Indigo Disc trailer? I personally don't think so. These silhouettes look different than the images of the students we have. We know that the Blueberry Academy will focus on battling, so are these 4 teachers that will have to battle. We'll probably train with 4 students, and these 4 figures instruct us, and then just like the Naranja and Uva Academy, we'll have to do a champions assessment and face them. Maybe they are the Elite 4 of the Blueberry Academy, and if that's the case, who's the top champion of the Blueberry Academy? We'll have to wait and see. He says, instructs us, alternatively, these four could of course be 4 students, but the point still remains. Maybe these 4 students will function as the Elite Four of the Blueberry Academy. The only reason I feel like they are 8 separate people instead is because the official site said we'll take classes and interact with local students. Naturally, there'll be teachers, just like in UVA Academy, and why would they hide these 4 figures' identities just to reveal them in the next frame of the trailer? A bit sus to me. Yes, it is true. A bit strange, but And also, yeah, there's 3 bulky silhouettes and one which isn't bulky, so I don't see any reason to assume they're anyone else, especially as they probably won't use that shot again. He says, yeah, the live action bit is a really good point if they're the same characters. I didn't think of that. But like I said, the point is more about a spark discussion and having teachers and students possibly in the Elite Four. I'm all for that. I don't really know how likely the chances are, though, but we'll have to wait and see. He also says, I wonder what types these 4 students probably specialize in. And yeah, again, we kind of went into this previously. If you guys want further on that, just go in. Then we have this right here. This image has been floating around all day. Ultimately, it's from 4chan, so it has a very high chance of being fake. I'm definitely very skeptical, but it's suggesting that a dark type Terra type Typhlosion will be the next Scarlet and Violet Terra raid event, and after that will be Samurott, which is Terra type and date unknown. But thank you to also for the translation. I'm especially skeptical because of the released Greninja, not with other Kalos starters. Just because we got Decidueye doesn't mean that the other Hisuian starters must follow. And here you can see 7-star raid, Typhlosion, 4chan, blah, blah, blah. And yeah, this ended up, by the way, being fake. Yorodin actually came through and figured it out that it's just like, a faked image. Somebody just imposed a Typhlosion over it to make it look like it's real. But yeah, it's fake. So yeah, shout out to Yorodin here for breaking this down. And now, let's move on to one of the final things to talk about. It's interesting that Kitakami can be translated to North God, which could be a reference to Ogerpon being a Northern Oni, a god leader, legendary lord. This ties directly back to the tale of Momotaro. Could Scarlet and Violet's Kitakami be the Oni island of that tale, with Ogerpon as the Oni lord of the island and land of Kitakami? Maybe Scarlet and Violet's Kitakami isn't as safe as it seems. Maybe the whole land is home for demons, as the official site never states where or what the land of Kitakami is. If they follow Momotaro closely, Scarlet and Violet's Kitakami could also be an island, as there are many islands off both the east and west coasts of Iberia that belong to Spain and Portugal, which is highly possible as well. Again, guys' thoughts and opinions will be appreciated. Again, what they could be based on is really all over the place. The Azores Islands, Madeira, Canary Islands. There is a shit ton of options, okay? There's a lot of options, but we'll have to wait and see what pans out from that. Also, a final little thing I want to include here is that there's been a new home sprite for The Walking Wake, which was found today. So odd as it's the only one found so far, it seems that an older unfinished sprite, maybe Ilka, liked this sprite better than Scarlet and Violet one, so they used it for the home instead. I know I actually like it better, but yeah. But the more interesting thing about this is, did they really do double the work and make multiple sprites of other Pokemon too? Maybe not. I'd love to see them if they existed. Again, intriguing that this is happening, but nonetheless, not really much massive value from that. Then there's just a cool thing I want to show from Ondu Region here, who made a Paradox form, Foliage Fury, which, yeah, you guys can kind of see it's a Virizion, like, Paradox form, but for, like, Pokemon Scarlet. And he also, I think, or Ondu Region, also made a version of one of the other ones here, Iron Justice here, Steel Fairy, which looks sick as well. So, yeah, again, just want to show these off. I think they look sick. And also, that's pretty much going to be it for the video, guys. If you all did enjoy it, then drop a like down below. Make sure to subscribe. I'll be seeing you guys in the next one. Peace out and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.